maybe we just forget about the Galgamix for right now.
What are we calling this? Is this a podcast?
Red. It Clash. Yeah.
Hey everyone, this is a really quick, kind of off the cuff Reddit Talks Clash. We are just kind of reacting to the giant news today. That is, of course, the removal of training time in the game. Massive news. Maybe the best quality of life update.
Ever?
Yeah, ever.
Yeah.
To not undersell it.
No, it is massive. Like, and there was no indication of it coming at all. It just suddenly dropped the bombshell, and here we are.
There is so much that goes along with removing training time. I thought it kind of justified us taking a little half an hour just to go through it all, go through the implications. There's a lot of questions. We had a lot of questions. The creators were only given a couple days heads up, and we had a lot of questions, and a lot of that we can't talk about. So, Sam, Liam, you guys first heard this morning. Sam, what was your initial reaction?
My first thought was, "Wow, that's massive," and then like you step back and think how much that actually changes. Because like think about, for example, when they removed the cost of training an army, right? It's like, oh wow, that's cool. But like, it's not, aside from you just having a bit more elixir, it's not like the biggest thing in the world. This changes a lot of things. I mean, it changes looting entirely. It changes trophy pushing entirely. It changes legends, and it will change legends entirely. It changes runes entirely. Yeah, it changes so much stuff, and I kind of couldn't believe they were actually doing it.
Yeah, Liam, what about you? What were your first thoughts this morning?
At first, I was like, it's got to be an April Fool's joke, and then I was like, wait a minute, no, it's like official. They're like, because usually they're like really like coy about it, but this seems to be legit, and I was like, wow.
And it is also March 11th. I mean, that's a pretty good indication it's not April Fool's.
No, for sure. But I was shocked.
Yeah, I expected something. I didn't expect this because there was some stuff that showed up in the dev build that looked weird, and it was asked about, and then the response was like, "Oh yeah, that's going to make sense later," and it was right after the last update where we did get reductions in training times, kind of across the board. It was obvious something was going to happen with training times, but I wasn't expecting this too because also like 3 weeks ago, a month ago. In the February update, they did tweak training times just to like why just to remove them entirely. I'm not complaining, but it really caught me off guard when this happened, and it's so huge. So I guess let's get into a lot of the follow-on effects. They're saying, hey, like why? It's because it's a 13-year-old game, and I don't know, the why feels kind of obvious too because the real bottleneck in playing has always kind of been like builder time. When you fill your storages, and all training time does is like kind of gate you into spacing out your playtime too. Like if you want to play more, you can come on, do 2 attacks, at least home village, and then you're kind of done for an hour at least, unless you want to pay. And so removing that barrier, this is it's going to change a lot of people's playstyle.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately it should result in people playing the game more, maybe, and I mean, seemingly more in one single period of time. Because, for example, say I've got a spare half an hour, right? I'll hop on Clash, I'll do an attack. I think, oh, I want to do a bit more. Sure, you can do French, and sure there are other things you could do, but basically, like, oh, well, I got to wait, and then you could be busy for the next few hours, and there you go, you played a lot less. Whereas now, I mean, just spend that half an hour smashing out attacks. So in theory, I mean, I can only assume it is a method for them to drive up activity in the game, and also I assume it will bring players back who may have put Clash on pause for a bit because it's a big change.
The chat's going a little wild, asking.
Yeah, we should address.
There's one big question is, as of right now, the game the way it's built, you can quit an attack, the attack plays out in the background, and you can reopen the game right away. It's how a lot of us play Clan Capital. It's how a lot of us play Builder Base. No one really does it for Home Village because again, you have to wait 45 minutes for your army to train. So there's not really a lot of value in getting a crappy attack. But now that troops will instantly train, the question is, can I just force quit the game, reopen it, drop all my troops? I don't care if I lose trophies. You're probably going to get a star at least just doing that again and again and again and again and again. Can I just fill my storages in 10 minutes? And the answer to that is going to be no. Well, so how force quitting is going to work is you are still going to be able to force quit the game. The attack will still play out to completion, and you will not be able to start another home village attack until that attack kind of runs its course.
So what will you actually see if you log back into the game? Will you see the attack like a spectator? Will you just like be locked from pressing new attack or whatever?
I don't know. So we haven't had hands-on on this. This was only explained to creators this morning, like within
Right.
the last couple hours. So we haven't actually played it yet, but that is the explanation. So you're not going to be able to start another home village attack until your previous home village attack, air quotes, finishes. So it's still going to play out. It's still going to block you for the amount of time that that attack would have taken naturally. So you're going to be able to still spam attacks, but it's going to, instead of every 10 seconds or however long it takes you to reopen the game, you're going to have to wait essentially 2 to 3 minutes to be able to do it again. So you're still going to be able to not play and fill your storages if you care about losing trophies that fast. But I don't know. I'd rather just do my attacks.
So someone in chat posted that this affects builder base and clan capital. Why would they make it affect builder
Because
base and capital, not just
Because
home village?
could you like step back for a second and think, right, how unbelievably complicated I assume that would be. I mean, technically, to make it,
Oh
because
my
I
god,
assume it's a
it's
pretty
going to be fully
fundamental.
buggy. I do not look forward to this.
But I'm just saying,
But-
like, fundamentally, it is such a hard, I imagine, a very hard thing to separate between villages, and also, just play the damn game. I mean, like, the point, the point of
No,
Clash of
no,
Clans
sorry,
is-
Sam.
no,
I have to
no,
interrupt
no,
you
no.
there. We are not meant to play the damn game. That's the whole point. We want to be efficient and spend as least possible time as we can. That's why we force quit the app.
Hold on, you two. Just to confirm, yes, the force change does apply to builder base and clan capital. So that's the devs confirmed it. The community managers told us a little bit ago, yes, you are allowed to go spread the word. So hey, that's fine. Builder base, clan capital, you can force quit. It will play out. You now have to wait 2 to 3 minutes for that attack to finish out.
We're not getting an explanation for why they're changing it in builder base and clan capital.
Like we've pointed this out for years. I know it's something I've said a bunch of times on the podcast, is that, like, hey, it's weird that the most efficient way to play clan capital is to not play clan capital. So just from a philosophical point of view on game design, would you really want your game to be not played?
If it makes the player happy, yes, that's the whole point, right? I mean, that's why they're removing the training time, is to make us happy. So if it's to make us happy, then they should be doing what makes us happy, not what forces us to play the game. But I get it. Of course, they want us to play the game more, so it makes sense for them.
I would love if they add things to the game that are going to keep me invested in even just watching a clan capital attack play out. Home village, I think it's totally fair. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to change my farming strategy at all
No, that makes sense.
for this, and especially just because I'm in Legends, and Legends isn't changing yet. So they
Yet.
so Legends still does get instant training. Your troops, your armies, your heroes immediately regen. Everything is still the same in Legends. You're just still limited to 8 attacks per day. They did say in the announcement they are going to change that for Legends in the future on some undetermined date. It says, we plan to remove this limit later this year, but most Legends players already don't finish all 8 battles anyway. Like, I've always had a problem with how they use kind of metrics like that, like the average super casual player. But I don't know, as the majority, maybe that is how they have to balance things around it. But anyway, it says for now, enjoy the ability to complete all 8 attacks in one sitting. Massive. It's huge.
Yeah.
I
I
love
do
it.
worry about what Legends will turn into if it does get made unlimited, like you were saying. Because the problem is, if they just let all hell break loose and just give you unlimited attacks, I mean, then it's just basically who has the most free time to get top of the leaderboards, and that's rubbish.
Like, I think there's more information coming on this soon. It's nothing that I think I'm allowed to talk about at this point. It won't be long. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Is that a stone cold assurance that it will not be just a slog to do the most attacks?
Yeah, like no one wants that, dude. No one wants that.
Yeah. Okay.
So
That's good.
like I've seen a lot of interesting things kind of pitched for Legends, and they're all like no matter which way they go with it, I think it's going to be a good
Oh.
thing.
Okay, good. There's a lot of discussion in the chat right now about the impacts of having multiple accounts with this
Yeah,
change of force quitting. Honestly, it's not that they can't build the game around the very, very tiny minority of people who actively play multiple accounts. I mean, it's just, you shouldn't need to be soloing client games. You shouldn't need to be doing a million capital hits. At the end of the day, why are you doing that?
the people who are focusing on how this negatively affects me and my 40 accounts are completely missing the picture. Like this is such a great change for everyone. Like there's going to be weird issues that pop up. Trophy inflation is going to be one. Loot drying up is going to be another, potentially. But they have a plan in place to deal with it though, and one that they are going to be able to adjust dynamically and quickly as time goes on too. So let's talk about how they're going to address some of these things, I guess.
Can we address trophy inflation? Because I actually have no idea what they're going to do about that. Because surely you can just skyrocket to the top.
Kind of. So they are going to let me reference this. So I'm not talking.
Did it with the 1-stars, right? Where you get fewer trophies if you do a 1-star.
If you 1-star, you're gonna gain less trophies. I think if you 2-star, you might gain less.
That's the case anyway. Wait, what? That's the case anyway, is it not?
Yes, but even fewer.
Yeah, relative to what you get now, less.
Oh, sorry. I thought you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I completely just didn't notice that. I was like, what?
So it says trophy reductions will affect all victory types. So even 3-starring, you're not going to get as many trophies. The current,
Gotcha.
the most cups you can get in an attack, I believe, is like 54. It's 54 or 56. It's right around there. So it sounds like they're all going down, which is fair because we're going to be able to do attacks that much faster all day long. So I think it's as long as you're getting a star, you're still going to gain. So if your goal is to force quit your way up, you're still going to be able to do that, just not as quickly.
How do they? I mean, I know not everyone will do that, obviously, but like, how do they have any plan against the fact that you can just get tons of trophies really easily? Or
The quote in the blog, it says we will monitor the situation daily and adjust if needed via server maintenance. So they're going to be
I don't mind that.
They're going to be on top of it, it sounds like. But hey, like if a bunch of lower town halls end up in Legends, like unless you're a town hall 17 in Titans and you're constantly be getting town hall 7s, or something, like it's probably not that big of a problem because you can always attack more.
Yeah. Question about defenses, right? So obviously there are these snapshot bases which people attack now, and if they take loot from a snapshot base, you don't use the loot, etc. I assume you don't lose trophies either.
So if your base is snapshotted and someone else attacks it, initially you're not even gonna know. Like so it's completely irrelevant to you. So yeah, it's if you are attacking a snapshot base, I don't think you'll know. If you're being attacked as a snapshot, I don't think you're gonna know. So snapshots don't transfer loot. It's a snapshot of a base at a certain point in time that multiple people can attack. It's basically the same way that Legends works. Is a snapshot is taken at reset of your base, and then people attack it all day.
Same way wars work as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it won't really affect you, and you're not going to lose extra loot. Like your base can be snapshotted and attacked 40 million times. You're never going to know.
That's crazy. I think we will eventually know, right? We are going to eventually be able to see attacks on snapshot bases, like replays. I think I did read somewhere that they would be adding that now.
Let's scroll.
Isn't this fun?
I know.
And then I think after this we should go on to donation changes.
Donations are the things I'm most excited about too. So
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry. Before we go into them, I just found it. It says in the plus updates you won't see if your snapshot basis attacks, but in a future update we will add them to the replay log so you can learn from those defenses too. So the
perfect.
official line is that eventually we will get those attacks. Sorry. Yeah. Donations. Let's go.
Yeah, that's awesome too, especially if you're like testing your like if you want to test defenses or get intel on things that way. Unless everyone's just force quitting and dropping on a side, then you're not going to learn anything. But
Yeah.
well, no, like even then, I guess like like whole new metas on defense could pop up about like, hey, most people spam stuff from the bottom right, so I'm going to put all my traps there and assume people aren't going to notice. So I don't know, like a lot of interesting ways it could go. But what were we going to talk about next?
Donations.
Donation, yeah, donations are the best thing. Like no one should ever wait for a donation again in your clan.
Yeah.
Because donations are going from you don't have to train them, you don't have to wait for them. It's not going to screw up anyone's army. All donations you basically just pay for in Elixir or Dark Elixir.
Think how much gems we're gonna have. I mean, I obviously Liam, by the gold pass, but me and Rick can have a lot more gems now.
It's so great for gems. Like everyone's been complaining. We've been complaining. I've been complaining about the massive gem costs that have been introduced with the helpers, and most of my gems, lifetime, by far, have gone to 1 gem donations. Like I would have to periodically buy gems and buy the gold pass and sell everything just to pay for the amount of donations I was doing through 1 gem donations, and almost all of those get to stop. Now, there's still going to be 1 gem donations in the gold pass for super troops that you don't have unlocked. So there's still a place for 1 gem donations that will still be part of the gold pass. You're going to use it far less.
Yeah. Like why would you use it?
So
Doesn't that like aren't there like a lot of people that only buy the gold pass for the 1 gem donations?
so they are adding a perk to the gold pass, a donation related perk where you're going to be able to request clan castle troops more frequently.
Straight away, right? Eventually.
Yeah, so they've normalized clan castle request time to 10 minutes across all clan levels, so that's no longer a perk.
Which does make you wonder whether they'll do something about clan levels because there's increasingly less and less perks for leveling up. Which I mean, I guess isn't an awful thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. Like
Yeah.
it's such a small potatoes issue, like in the face of a massive benefit. So I'm not going to complain about that at all. Now, since like training time reductions aren't a perk in the gold pass anymore, that's being replaced by being able to request clan castles more frequently. So we don't have the specifics on that. We don't know what the timer is, what it's going to be. The way it was kind of explained is like, hey, if you have the gold pass, you're basically not going to be waiting to request. So you're going to have to play out that 3-minute attack anyway, like we just talked about. So I'm kind of expecting the timer to be reduced to around that 3-minute mark, but we just don't know yet.
Yeah.
To quote the article, gold pass holders can request reinforcements after every battle. So I don't know if that's just like unlimited,
like 2 minutes or instantly.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's knocking it down to 3 minutes or less, or just like do a battle and you can request again, so you have to do a battle in there, or unlimited. I don't know, but we will see soon enough.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been trying to poke holes in this, and I really can't like think of any negative, like unless things get insanely out of hand on
I think
like on trophies and loot drying up. It might just motivate more people to be in Legends.
In theory, loot shouldn't dry up, right, because of the snapshot bases. So
yeah, like
how do the snapshot bases work in terms of loot? Like, do they have a constant amount of loot, or are they still based off the actual player's loot? Just that actual player isn't going to lose it.
I don't know.
Well, what do we have you on here for?
Well, they haven't told us yet, so I think it would be cool if they, are snapshotting bases that have a certain floor of available loot. So you're not getting a snapshot base of someone who's totally empty and depleted and has dead defenses. I don't know what the selection process is going to be. We're going to have to wait until the update and then a couple days after to find out. But it snapshotting has so many implications down the line too. Like, hey, could this be used to fix revenge? Is that an option? Although, like,
yeah,
if you're
good
not
point.
really stealing anything from someone, is it really revenge at that point? But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I don't know. Man,
God, I don't even know what like. There's just so much.
it's all good stuff.
It is good,
It's all good stuff. Like,
which you wouldn't believe reading this chat right now, but
I don't get it. I don't get how you could think this is anything
The
but
force
awesome.
quitting is not awesome, Mick.
Well, you know what, Liam?
oh,
Like,
it's
Liam, like the game.
Like, wait, so that
y-
means if I have bad Wi-Fi and my Wi-Fi, like my attack gets interrupted because of it, and I want to log back in, I can't just play the game. I have to wait for the attack to finish. Like,
oh God, you've got
so
to
now
wait a minute. Oh
now
no, oh
now I'm
no,
being
God, what are we gonna do with the time?
punished for
Oh
having
no.
bad Wi-Fi. Like,
The
come on, like
very few times you disconnect, you're gonna have to wait a minute till you play again. Oh my God.
time
Oh God.
time is the most
Ow.
valuable resource, and I'm trying to spend as least time as possible playing this game.
Yeah, I think that's what they don't like. And you're obviously okay. Also, you're obviously not trying to spend the least possible time playing the game, because otherwise you wouldn't have about 1 million accounts. Like that. That
Uh,
is the complete antithesis to playing as little as possible.
It is though. Actually, it's a mix.
So, hey, like I know I'm always bringing up Boom Beach. One of the things I really love in Boom Beach is there's a button that lets you kind of like set the attack, like the replay speed higher. So you can, while you're live attacking, you can tap a button and it goes to 3 times speed. Is that like something that would keep you
I
as
would love that.
happy?
Yes, very happy. But I don't think it might not be easily implementable.
No. Well, I mean, like they have. I don't know I don't know if you can just copy and paste code from Boom Beach into Clash and make it work, but like it's a system that does exist that people at Supercell have experience with. So, if they wanted to ever go that route.
But I feel like so many people just don't have that issue. They're not going to care, so it won't be worth
Yeah.
it.
Well, most people don't have 200 accounts they try and do raid weekend in every week.
Fair enough.
Honestly, it's maybe an implicit message from Supercell just telling you to go outside and do something else.
Well, they should make up their mind. Either they want me to play the game more or less, but
The way I do Clan Capital now, like I force quit all my attacks. So I will, what I've done is I just do all 6 attacks on one account. You force quitting, it takes 2 minutes, and then I switch accounts and do that again now. So it's going to take me, I do 6-7 accounts, so call it, it takes half an hour for me to do all of those through raid weekend. If I have to wait out 2 to 3 minutes, I'm looking at like an hour and a half now to do all that. So my time investment in Clan Capital just tripled. But really, like, what I'll probably end up doing is just one attack, one account, switch, one attack, one account, switch, and cycle that way.
Yeah.
And that's going to add 10 minutes to me force quitting everything too. So it's not that big of a deal.
isn't
Liam,
it? Wait! Isn't it going to like incentivize you to play the game less though because it's more effort?
maybe it might. So like, it's not. I'm not going to play the game less on my main account, on the account that I spend money on. Like I'll probably play more, especially once whatever changes they make in Legends happen. I'll probably end up playing that account a lot more. If my alts fall off, Equipment already did that though. Equipment already disincentivized me to play all my accounts to the fullest extent because it's orders way too much to keep up with. I don't see this as a huge deal to me.
At
To
at
you,
the
like
end of the day, most people don't have multiple accounts. Like,
Yeah.
that's the bottom line, isn't it? I mean, I have a few accounts. I only play on my main really. Like I used to play on my side account a bit, but I can't be bothered anymore.
It's removing a barrier to play the way you want. Like you can still space out your attacks throughout the day if you want. You can do them all at once. If you're in Legends, you can spend half an hour and get your Legends attacks in as long as you have the gold pass. I guess it's all positive. It's all positive.
Unless you like force quitting the game,
Also, why do you? Oh, sorry.
then it's not all positive.
Why do you actually want multiple accounts now? Because you can attack as much as you want on your main
To
village.
finish clan games faster is the main reason.
But you don't. But you.
No, never mind. We can move on since it's a minority issue, Sam.
In the word clan games, it's the word in clan. I mean, you're not meant to do it by yourself.
Yeah. Hey, ultimately, like, yeah, it does negatively, the force quit changes specifically. The force quit changes negatively impact the way I play multiple accounts in specific game modes, I'm already over it. It hasn't even happened. Like, because all the benefits in this, it's benefiting my clan. My whole clan's going to thrive. It's such a good change overall. Like, I don't even care that I'm slightly inconvenienced on clan capital.
Because it just makes the rest of the game more enjoyable. I mean, it makes it so good. It makes it so good. Like, what do you think the incentive was for Supercell to do this?
It's removing barriers to let people play the way they want to play.
Sure, but if you think about Supercell as a company and a business, why do you think they remove training times?
It's probably going to get you in the game more. Like, you're going to be more incentivized to check it daily more often. You're gonna farm more. You're gonna, I don't know, like,
It's to drive up engagement time, right?
Yeah.
That's the main motivation, I would
it's
think.
going to significantly increase play time for a lot of people. And if you're the kind of player who doesn't, who, you know, like, you play so little that the training time doesn't affect you, it's not a negative change at all. Selling training potions probably wasn't a huge seller. Like, I know people who do a training potion every single day for their legends hits at the end of the day, and this is huge for them.
You see, that post on the subreddit, the guy had about 250 training potions.
I know, Ninja, like, Clash Ninja made that exact joke, because we're talking about this days ago, and I'm like, okay, like, how is Reddit gonna hate this? Because I know there's going to be a significant portion of clowns who think this is a terrible change. And, like, one of the first jokes Ninja said is like, what am I going to do with my 500 training potions?
In fairness to that post, I don't think they were actually legitimately complaining. But yeah, it's still funny. But there were some people who were like, "Oh, I want to keep my training potions." Like, what?
Like, and I guess, you know, PSA training potions will automatically sell for gems too. You can do it yourself. You can use them for the next month until the change takes effect. But yeah, they're going to automatically sell for gems, so you're not going to lose anything that you wouldn't have anyway. So that's good.
But like, if I sell a training potion, like, there'll be the same gem value as if you sold it manually before, right?
Probably. I haven't heard otherwise. There's no reason to suspect otherwise.
Right.
Man, but just, like, I'm never going to fill my own CC with raid medals again unless no one's on in my clan. So now I have all those extra raid medals to buy potions and sell for gems. I'm going to be doing far, far less 1 gem donations. So that's a bunch of extra gems in my pocket. Like, this is huge. I'm going to max out my helpers, even though I don't really care. Like, I'm going to have a max alchemist.
Well, so I was literally, that is so weird. I was about to bring up the alchemist. What's the point now?
Of the alchemist?
Yeah.
Well, like, the alchemist, the point of the alchemist was always just convenience, dude. Like, because, hey, like, you're gonna have a mismatch in resources from time to time, or excess resources, and you're short somewhere else, and now this just lets you convert. So it was always just a convenience thing.
It was, yeah, sure, but I mean, now when you can just get basically as much loot as you want, I mean, does it, it's at least less important now.
Yeah, like, it's gonna, like, this is gonna improve our war, because people are rushed, and they are forcing their legends army onto, like, whatever open base is at the top of the war map now.
Yeah, that's what I do
And
sometimes.
and now you can
No, I have to. Yeah.
I saw you fail on number 5 yesterday.
Yeah, I failed twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't good 297%. It's really annoying, actually.
Yeah, but and now, like, hey, if you have a limited amount of time to do your war attacks in, you're not going to feel forced to apply what might be a not optimal army onto a base. It's so good.
God, it's like Christmas, isn't it?
It is. I was like, I'm quoting Ninja all the time from our private chats, like, but I just say,
Are
like,
you okay with this?
like the game is going to be insufferable for the next 3 weeks, just knowing this is coming, and I'm not, like, every time I look down and see I have 35 minutes until I can attack, it's terrible. But
it's just out of reach in the moment.
I know.
Cruel.
Ninja said I'm like a kid who peeked at his Christmas presents in November.
And obviously, I get why they told us now, because it is such a huge change. There'll be questions to be answered. They'll be gauging the reaction as well. Like, I understand why it's been announced early, but God, it's gonna be a painful way, isn't it?
Godly's out here trying to get me in trouble, saying I leaked something. No, because we were told when this was going to take effect in the
Whole
announcement
April.
and end of the month.
Which obviously led to conspiracy theories that this was all an April Fool's joke, which we even roped into on a post on the subreddits. We were charged as being complicit in it, which I thought was quite funny. But
So,
yeah.
All right. So yeah, if you guys, I know that was a giant ramble, but if you guys have questions about how this is going to work, other things, yeah, like go ahead, ask in the chat.
And then we will start going through them now. If you ask a question just normally in chat, we're probably not going to read it right now because we'll just be going through our little spreadsheet. So please make sure you use that command so we actually see it.
Will this make donation XP grinding more competitive or less? I
I don't
forget
even know
that's
that's
a
a
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wreck and Go clans is it going to kill Wreck and Go's because donations are far easier in clans now? I don't know.
Probably. But equally, there's still the chance of like you don't have people online. But then again, raid medals exist. Like I don't know. Probably.
The Wreck and Go's might get a boost because now like a lot of Wreck and Go's would have you do like only loons or giants, or they would give you specific stuff. But now, yeah, I don't know. Who cares?
Here's an interesting one. If you force quit builder base, will it lock home village attacks too?
No, it's only going to prevent you from doing an attack in the same village until that one finishes. So if you force quit a builder base, you can come back in and immediately do a home village.
So you could just do that like on the cycle, couldn't you? If you really still want to force quit clan capital, do a bit of home village while you wait. You know?
Yeah.
There you go. Do you see any downsides to train times being gone? I mean, I guess the force quitting one is the only real downside, and I obviously, as you can tell, I'm not that upset about it. But I guess it's the only real tangible downside, isn't it? As it stands, I think we'll need to sit in practice before we properly understand the impact. For example, on trophies, but on the face value, I think that's the only really tangible bad thing.
I think it adds to an existing problem too that I think layout links introduced. There's not layout links, but that I think army links introduced where people will use a template army all the time, and there's a lot of situations where in war where that template army could be tweaked a little bit and you might do better. Like I do it too where I have 3 super wall breakers in my legends army, and when I go into war, like, hey, I might only need to break 1 wall, but I don't want to go through the hassle of training those. And I'm even though now it's instant, I don't think it's going to affect me either. But I can only think of really small stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Like as long as they stay on top of like making sure snapshotted bases give us decent loot, and like keep an eye on the way everyone shifts and what league they're in. Those are potential problems, but again, it sounds like they're going to be watching it and trying to stay on top of it. So
yeah, we got 2 questions about donations. I guess just quickly run over how they work again for anyone who didn't hear. Donations, you now donate with Elixir and Dark Elixir, instead of just the actual troop itself. And there is still going to be 1 gem donations, but there aren't going to be many scenarios where you really want to use it. I can imagine.
you can still 1 gem super troops you don't have unlocked.
Yeah.
Like we don't know the cost yet, so I don't know how it's gonna like scale. So like, hey, can a town hall 4 donate a giant, and is it gonna be a ridiculous cost? How's that work with different levels of stuff? Like I don't like those details aren't out yet, but I think they've earned the benefit of the doubt that they're gonna have an answer for that.
Do you guys think there's any point using sneaky goblins now for farming?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. There's been a lot of drama about them dying today, but I don't actually see it because it's still the quickest way to get loot. I mean, at the end of the day.
Yeah, you could just add in a bunch of super wall breakers to that and force quit. Yeah, but also if you're just looking for dead bases on collectors, that's really what's gonna determine what kills sneaky goblins or not. Like if people are so active that there aren't dead bases out there, then there's no reason to use sneaky gobs anymore. Just do full attacks and spam everything. But yeah, as long as there's full collectors on bases, like dropping 17 sneaky gobs to get all the collectors and drills still makes sense, and it's faster.
I got a question not entirely about this, but about something that has come out in between, like now and our last episode, which is the fact that in the Clash Royale warm up they tease new pets. I think they said something like its name rhymes with something and it sneezes a lot. It was a something that rhymed with sneezy. I can tell you that much.
What Marco said, I think, was it likes to sneeze a lot, and its name rhymes with cheesy.
Cheesy, right? So sneezy, obviously. I think is
Or
doesn't think Eunice to figure that one out.
yeah, or
Good one,
breezy,
Sam.
or wheezy, or mac and
But
cheesy.
what?
I don't know,
Yeah. Um.
sleazy.
Yeah. What we think it's going to be, I've absolutely no idea. I mean, it'll sneeze onto your. It'll sneeze. I actually don't. I don't know if Liam. Do you have any inclination of what this could mean?
No, I'm just picturing some like permanently sick pet that's always sneezing. But yeah, no idea.
Oh well, apparently it's been leaked in the according to Godly, and Rick probably knows, so I'm not going to defer this question to him. Um, yeah. What else do we have? Will they be able to properly compensate its gold pass for the loss of one gem? I mean, A, we're not losing it; it's just less important, and B, uh,
It all depends on what you mean by properly compensate. But
yeah. Because I mean, obviously with the training time, obviously we get a 20% boost currently. They're changing that with the clan castle donation time reduction. I mean, the gold pass is still worth it, isn't it? At the end of the day, so I don't think they'll
Oh
really
yeah,
do anything about that.
the perk we're losing that matters is the training time boost, which has been massive, and that is being replaced with a clan castle
Yeah.
donation timer reduction. So that's fair. That's more than a fair swap. I'm totally happy with that.
So I asked, what about players who use just one army and never switch and want to donate something and do not mess with army composition? Well, you're fine. I mean, that is the change. You don't donate with the actual troop anymore. You donate just by using Elixir and Dark Elixir as a currency. So yeah, perfect.
You're paying for the troop for someone else, essentially, is what you're doing.
Yeah. Any speculation will replace Training Boost, perk and Gold Pass? As just said, Clan Castle request training time. Training time, Clan Castle request time is going down. That's the replacement. So it starts at 10 minutes, and then the perk will be that it gets reduced to. In theory, the max reduction is every attack, whatever that exactly means. So yeah, that's the replacement.
have we talked about the clan, 10-minute request time for the clan perk just being removed from level 10 clans? Like, is it going to be replaced with something? Or okay.
No, it's just going. It's just off.
It really not a big deal. I don't think.
Well, for some people, I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean, clan levels have become irrelevant now, realistically, haven't they? So I don't think. I mean, obviously not actually irrelevant, but like no one really thinks about them anymore, do they? No one really cares.
The 2-level upgrade is, I think, the only real relevant perk. I guess you get higher war loot and store more war loot in the treasury with clan perks as well. So that's
Yeah,
still nice.
I'd like them to revisit clan levels. Actually, I think they could do something else with them because it's a bit boring now, isn't it?
Yeah,
But anyway, that's a bit of a
like
separate discussion.
such small potatoes.
Do you still need to activate super troops to donate them? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So that might
But
be a case where you still want to
yeah,
use your one gem.
yeah. That's the only case for you to use one gem.
What else will be coming with the new update? Well, they're on the calendar that we got for March. They put sneak peeks later at some point. Obviously, we know we're getting this pets, but I think I can't remember when the dates were, but in the coming weeks, because obviously I assume this will roll out in the same updates in the coming weeks. I'm sure we'll get sneak peeks, so there will be more stuff, whatever it may be. Just it will include a new pet. That's what we really know at the moment. Does that do us?
I think it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. I know this was kind of all over the place, you guys, but we're super excited for this one. This is probably that's shaping up to be potentially the best quality of life change of all time.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, I assume we'll be back for the other sneak peeks whenever they come. As I said, assuming a week or two to come before this releases. So I assume that's when we'll see you all again. Would I
Yeah.
be right in saying that? Yeah.
Yeah. We
Sure.
will see you next time.
See you next time for the sneak peeks. Hopefully. Until then, hope you don't drown yourself in tears, happy tears about this news. And yeah, have a good rest of your days. We'll see you all when we see you.
Say bye, Liam.
Bye.
Thank you for listening, everyone.